Hey everybody.
Sean and Kelly here, Price and Price Group of Samson Properties, and we are in our older studio because our new office is being totally renovated,
AKA our kitchen. Our kitchen bar.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so what are we talking about today from our kitchen bar?
Today we're talking about the next 4 things in line, so numbers 9 through 15. No. We're talking about math. We're talking about simple math today. 9 through 12. Thank you very much. On how to get your offer accepted from a buyer or from a seller over all the other offers they're getting in.
That's right. All right, here we go.
And he'll do the math.
Okay. All right, so we've run through several other options. We're not going to recap them all here because honestly we don't have them in front of us.
Go back and watch it.
Go back and watch those videos. Yes, we've done 2 videos, 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. So now we're on 9 through 12. So number 9, what is number 9?
Number 9 is all about escalation and appraisal gaps.
That's right, that's right. So strategically use your escalation, strategically use your appraisal gap. And one of the keys is make it significant, and that could depend. Like the significance of it depends on the price point. So
$1,000 isn't really going to be.
No. Now maybe on a $100,000 house, the seller might be motivated by 1,000.
We are talking about our area.
Yeah, yeah. So it's got to be a significant number because you're also competing against other terms.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can consider putting in an odd number. So let's say your appraisal gap is, we're going to use the $1,000 example. Well, instead of doing $1,000, do $1,180 or something.
Now all agents have different personalities. I think that's dumb. I'm like, why would you think that this is going to matter to anyone? But some people do it, and you actually like it. You're like, you get a little chuckle out of it.
I do. It makes it stand out. Like if a seller's looking at 4 offers and they're all really, really close.
It makes me stand out. Like, what are you even thinking?
I'm thinking I wanted to get $128 above the last offer. So anyway, you could consider that if your personality thinks that could be a good thing.
Because maybe the seller's personality is the same.
Yeah, could be. You're thinking
maybe one of them is, and the other one's like, why would they even do that?
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, but the key to that is making those numbers significant, something that will inspire the seller to go with your offer.
And it's very important. Like appraisal gap money is different than escalation money, right? Even if it's the same amount, you're like, I'm going to do a $5,000 appraisal gap and no escalation. Well, what does it matter? It really, really matters because they all wash out differently in the offer.
Very true. Okay, next.
Number 10.
I love this one.
You do? Okay, let me read it.
Oh,
wait. I was going to read it for you so that you could elaborate.
Go ahead. I'm passionate.
Offer to cover certain seller costs rather than offering a higher price.
Sales price, yes. So there are ways, let's say you want to make a $10,000 difference. If you offer $10,000 more on the sales price, there are certain parts of the transaction that are based on sales price. So if you offer $10,000 more, buyer agent, seller agent commissions are going to go up in proportion to that $10,000. There are other things that are going to go up that are that are figured based on sales price.
Right.
So what you can do is instead of doing that, you could apply that $10,000 to some other part
seller
of the
cost,
transaction.
right?
Yeah, seller cost of the transaction. And then that way there's the net to the seller is increased, but the cost to the buyer is the same amount. Especially
now with all of the commission changes that are going on, it's like the sellers are caring less and less about what's the sales price and what's this. It's like, what is my net, right? They want to know what's the bottom line, what's the net. They really don't give much of a flip what you call it. They just care what they're walking away with.
And so that brings us to the next point, number 11, is if you're getting creative with this, explain to the seller's agent how this works and how this affects the seller's net.
Because again, not all agents do things the same. They don't all have the same
thought processes, background.
What's the word for like when you've done something for
Experience.
a long time? Thank you.
Or
vocabulary. Some of them just don't have a vocabulary. You need to give it to them. But they don't even have net sheets, right? We've talked to several where they're like, oh, what's a net sheet?
Yeah, what does net mean?
And we'll share the net sheet. And it's like, look, even if you have this kind of offer, we're guessing, you know, that might be going against our client's offer, then see how this is higher. And they'll say, can you share that with me so that they can plug it in? And of course we'll share it, right? Because, and we'll say, let us know what we need to tick to get ours.
Yeah, get that net. What's the seller's net? So it's all about the net, and there are different ways to affect that net.
And communication with that other agent.
Seems
and
like that comes up in every video.
It does, because it's in a helpful, friendly, wonderful, we're all in this together way, not in a lording over it. I mean, it's just agent relations.
That's right. That's
super
right.
important.
Okay, so number 9, I'm just going to recap real quick because I like to do that. I like to circle back.
You're filling.
Yeah. Number 9, make your escalation and your appraisal significant. Number 10, cover different aspects of cost in order to increase the net to the seller.
Instead of just the price. But that's only going to be really effective and important if you, number
11, communicate to the seller's agent. And lastly, so this one is, it's obvious, most buyers know that, especially if you're in a multi-offer situation, you're going to have to waive contingencies. There's always risk. So step number 1 is, if you're going to waive a contingency, make sure you understand the risk. Do not do anything that you don't have that risk tolerance for. There are ways to mitigate that risk. We talked about like a pre-offer inspection, for example, on an inspection contingency. Well, if you can't get the pre-offer inspection, and you're really wanting to get an inspection contingency, you can do things in there to try to make the seller more comfortable. Like, you might say something like, hey, you know what, we won't ask for any repairs under $50,000, you know, or something like that. Just give them something, some form of security.
That would be an inspection, right? And if, like, let's say it's a newer home and the inspection really isn't as important to you, but you know you're going to be going against all these other like over the asking price offers, then there might be other things that you would want to do. Like, that's when you might want to give the appraisal gap and whatnot. If the property is older and, you know, the inspection thing is an issue, your buyer's agent, a lot of times we gift you a home warranty at settlement. You know, if it's like, okay, you've done everything you can here, and it's like, that's really what's going to get it for you, then a lot of times your agent will, your sweet agent, they don't all do this, don't expect it, but they will get you a home warranty, and if they don't, then get one yourself.
That's right. Yep. So the keys to going through all these is that when you're in a competitive seller's market, which we're still in a seller's market, it's not as strong as it was in 2020, 2021, but it's still a seller's market, and you're still going to find yourself in positions of multi-offer situations. Pick 1 or 2 of these, talk to your agent about it, see if they have a good grasp, because you have to have a good grasp, because if it doesn't play right,
because every point has an effect on the other points of the contract, and you have to know how they all play together.
That's right, that's right. But these are good strategies. So, all right, so that's number 9 through 12. All right.
Rip.
Yes. All right,
we'll have this for the next time.
We'll see you guys on the next week's video.